Okay, let's be real for a second here. How many times have you hung out with your furry friends outside of fandom events? If you're sitting there scratching your head right now, don't worry, you're not alone. But here's the thing, there's a whole world of furry fun waiting for you and your crew, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to tap into it. Picture this, you meet someone awesome at a con, you trade social media handles and maybe even grab a quick coffee. But then you say your goodbyes after the convention and then nothing. Months go by and you only see each other's posts online. Sound familiar? It's easy to fall into this pattern in the furry community, where we often only cross paths with each other once or twice a year. But here's the real question. Did you go through all the work of joining the furry fandom for just surface level acquaintances? Or do you want those coveted friendships that actually mean something? Because let me tell you, there is a big difference between the two. All it takes is a little bit of effort and planning, and you too can potentially turn a random chance encounter with someone at a con into a lifelong friend. Let me explain. Let's face it, the furry fandom has some pretty awesome activities to partake in. We got conventions that are basically furry Disneylands, fur meets where we can hang out with our more local community, and of course the endless stream of incredible art that we could share and commission. But here's the thing, if these are the only ways that we're connecting with our furry friends, we might be missing out on some seriously deep connections. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these activities themselves. They're a huge part of what makes our community special. But think about it. How well do you really get to know someone when you're both squeezed into fursuits, for example, trying to navigate a convention con floor? Or if your main interaction with someone extends only to just commenting on each other's posts online? I'll be honest, I used to think that was enough, but then something happened that really changed my perspective. About a year or so ago, a furry friend of mine suggested that we go watch a movie together. Not a furry movie, just a regular action film. And at first, I didn't think much of it. It was just a movie. I've done that a bunch of times with other people before, and this would be nothing new. But I'll tell you what, that movie night turned out to be quite the game changer. We honestly spent half the time whispering over the movie, sharing our thoughts, cracking jokes, and just being our goofy selves. And again, we were out of the context of the fandom. No fursuits, no convention chaos, just two relatively new friends hanging out. And in those few hours, it felt like I learned more about that friend than I had in the years of seeing them at cons. And it was after that day when it really hit me. The key to deeper furry friendships isn't more furry activities, it's expanding beyond them. It's all about finding common ground outside of our shared love for anthropomorphic animals, because let's face it, as awesome as the furry fandom is, it's not the only thing that defines us, even if it is the biggest thing. So what does that mean for you and your furry friends? Well, it means it's time to think outside of the fandom. Instead of waiting for the next con to roll around, why not organize a game night at someone's house? Or maybe plan a camping trip where you could swap stories around a campfire. Maybe even set up a Discord movie night where you could all watch and chat about it together. The possibilities are really endless, and they don't have to be complicated or expensive. The point is to create opportunities where you could just be yourselves without the pressure of being on in your furry personas all of the time. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. But Finn, isn't the whole point of having furry friends to do furry stuff together? And that's a fair question. Some of the most fun things that I do with my friends are within the context of the furry fandom. But here's the thing, your furry friends, they're so much more than their personas. They're complex, interesting people with a wide range of interests and experiences. And when you're exploring those other facets of their personalities, you're not really moving away from the furry fandom, you're just enriching your experience within it. Think about it this way, the next time you're at a con with your friends, you'll have so much more to talk about after you share some of these experiences. You'll have inside jokes from your movie nights, stories from your camping trips, and a deeper understanding of who you all are as people. And it's that fact right there that really turns those convention acquaintanceships into potentially lifelong bonds. Now again, you might be thinking, all right, Finn, I kind of see where you're coming from, but how do I actually make these hangouts happen? And if this type of planning doesn't come naturally to you, I get it. My first attempts at organizing furry friend meetups were shaky at best. But through trial and error, I think I've figured some things out. First things first, let's talk about choosing activities. The key here is to find something that is inclusive of everyone and appeals to a wide range of interests. Remember, your furry friends are more than just their personas. They've got hobbies and passions outside of the fandom too, so why not tap into those? In my experience, game nights are always a hit. You can host one at your place or even set up an online gaming session. It's a really great way to bond over some friendly competition. If you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, how about a hiking trip? Nothing beats swapping stories around a campfire under the stars or while you're all walking up a mountain. And for those who have an even more competitive spirit amongst you all, something like go-kart racing can be a blast. The point is to pick something that gets everyone excited and gives you a chance to interact in a brand new context. Now with those examples, most of those work with friends that are already close to you, making it easy for all of you to meet up somewhere in person. But if you're like me, not all of your furry friends are down the street from you, and managing long-distance friends presents its own set of challenges. But don't let it discourage you. This is where online activities can be a real lifesaver. Movie nights over Discord, virtual art jams, and even just regular voice calls can really help bridge that gap between you all. Now, remember, and this is the case whether you're trying to plan things online or in person, the goal here isn't to create a mini convention, so you don't have to put something together that's perfect or super stimulating for hours on end. I'll be honest, that was a mistake that I made when I first made my first few friends in this fandom. That's not the goal. It's about creating a relaxed environment where you could just be yourselves and have fun together. These hangouts don't have to be elaborate or all that expensive. Sometimes the simplest get-togethers can lead to the best memories. All right, let's wrap this up. We've talked about why it's important to hang out with your furry friends outside of fandom events and how these experiences can really deepen your connections. It's all about finding that sweet spot between furry fun and just you all being yourselves. So here's the deal. Don't wait for the next con to roll around. Take the initiative and plan something with your furry crew. Again, and I really do want to emphasize this, it doesn't have to be fancy. A movie night, a walk in the park, or even just a video call can do wonders. The key is to create opportunities where you could just relax, be yourselves, and discover new sides of each other. Remember, your furry friends are more than just their personas. They're complex, interesting people with a whole range of experiences and interests. By exploring those other facets, you're not moving away from the furry fandom. You're really enriching your experience within it. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. But until then, stay wild out there. Peace.